That's what y'all been blogging about, right? It's like that,
Yeah, Toronto is where my heart is, so home is where the heart is. Whenever I get introduced on stage, even if I've been in New York City for years, it's hailing from Toronto. Most people don't even know I live here. I spend time between Toronto and New York City, so I do live in New York City at least half the year, if not more. But Toronto is my home. I moved around a lot my whole life though, so I can't say I was born and raised there. I wasn't born there, but Toronto's where I spent the longest portion of my life. In my opinion, Toronto is harder to impress than New York City. I think we try so hard as Torontonians, mega screw-faced capital. We try so hard to be kind of like New York in a way. For many years, New York influenced us. Our sound, our dress, our everything. Everyone will say that Toronto's kind of like a cleaner version of New York City. So because we tried so hard to be kind of like New York, we overcompensated in many ways, especially the crowd. And so the crowd is like, everyone knows the Toronto crowd. They will screw face you. You really have to impress them to even get them to raise up their hands, make any noise, do anything. However, when you do get them open, they're actually, in my opinion, liver than most crowds around the world, including New York City. Like, you know, we're very Caribbean influenced in Toronto, you know, West Indian, whatever, caravan, you know it. So like everyone's licking up shots, hanging up with things, making a whole lot of noise, which I'm used to. So when I go to other places, people don't do that when they get hyped, and when they watch a show, I'm like, what's good? Y'all just talking. So, yeah, but Rocksteady was amazing. I mean, I went on a good time slot. It was just before Pack FM, after Homeboy Sandman, but, you know, Big Daddy Kane didn't rock that far after. The crowd was definitely a Toronto screw-faced crowd. They were like, I've been around since before you were born watching hip-hop, you know, which is true, actually. And they got really open. And I think what it takes to get a crowd open is, other than obvious things like skill and ability, is just being vulnerable, being yourself. They can sense that, you know, you're not scared of them, and you're being open and raw. Like, you know, my acapella got them really open, and that was not like a punchline acapella. It was actually, you know, about me and God and falling and getting up. So a lot of people got open to that, and then after that, boom, you know, we dropped Big L, and then boom, after that I run into the crowd, and then at that point, it was a wrap. It was definitely, I view shows as going to battle, and you're either victorious or you fail, you lose the war, and that show, Rocksteady, was definitely victorious. I came out like waving the flag, we won. So. If I do, I'm not confronted with them face to face. I think before I perform, likely, yes, a lot of issues. I think before I perform, people are like, what's she doing on stage, and she better not rap. Especially people that don't know me. I mean, the awareness is becoming increasingly better and better, but I'm used to always being introduced to people for the first time. As an artist, I feel like I'm the new artist veteran. I'm a veteran of being a new artist. I've been a new artist for over a decade now. I'm like, yeah, that's like the new slogan. So yes, I'm used to winning over people that generally are closed-minded when it comes to what an MC should look like. Right. And that doesn't just mean race, that means gender too. Yeah, exactly. That means what you're wearing. That means a lot of things. But I'm used to winning over crowds that generally have one perception of what hip-hop is and what MCs look like, and then afterwards it's like, okay, let me destroy that perception. Let me build from the ground up and show you that dopeness comes in all different forms. So I view it as a challenge that I love. I don't view it as a negative thing. I think that's as subjective. The difference between, you know, rappers and MCs, or hip hop and rap, is as objective as the difference between beauty. Certain people have different definitions in their mind, and you can't assume that everyone's operating under the same definition. So for me, you know, rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live, MC is master of ceremonies or mistress of ceremonies, whatever you want to call it. A rapper is the verb in action, like I rap, therefore I'm a rapper. You know, my shirt says my favorite rapper wears a skirt, and that's just because the term rapper is more universally accepted than MC. A lot of people wouldn't understand, especially in other countries. So I don't find rapper as a derogatory term, but it's just what I do. It's like being a, I don't know, construction worker. Right. I'm a rapper, but MC connotates a little more of I don't know, prestige, I guess you could say. Not everyone's an MC. Don't like it. I don't prefer the term MC personally. I don't get offended, When people use it, I think that they use it in a positive context. But personally, the reason why it rubs me the wrong way is in every profession that women have kind of trailblazed through or had to trailblaze through, even outside of hip hop, they weren't viewed as, that femme word wasn't attached. And so I always use the example, it's not like a femme astronaut or a femme architect. I am an architect. I happen to be a woman. I am an emcee. I happen to be a woman. So that's why I don't like the term femcee. That being said, once again, the people that use it, I think use it with good intentions. So I don't get mad. Well, first of all, we found the hook part. I found them, by the way. I'm the one that got those vocals in the hook.
We found out we got a producer.
I found it from a VHS tape documentary library. It happens to be Janis Joplin. But then we found those parts after. So we actually fit Janis Joplin talking around after what I had written. But I knew that she used to say and think stuff like that because I've watched a lot of stuff on her. I'm a Janis Joplin fan. So I was just like, I just gotta find the right post. I wrote the song early on in the album process. In fact, we debated whether that should be the intro song, but it ended up being the outro song. Could have been either, bookend. And basically, it was just me dealing with where I felt I was at as a woman in the industry. So we talk about a lot of things in that song. Labels sleeping on me, people trying to change me, people trying to say you should do this or you should do that, people criticizing, me being comfortable in my womanhood, even my age. I talk about, people saying, I felt like I'm the, what did I say in the song? Something like the Peter Pan of this rap shit, like, they won't let me grow old, they won't let me mature like fine wine, but I'm a woman, I'm gonna mature, I'm gonna grow old, and that's what makes it beautiful, that's what makes my music beautiful. So I address a lot of issues just being in the business in Goodbye, but specifically being a woman in the business. And that beat is probably my most top played track in my iPod, like when you go through top plays, that playlist. I could listen to that beat even without my vocals on it forever. I never got sick of that beat. So that's why that song, when it drops right, it's just like, it feels like Armageddon, it feels like apocalypse, it feels like the end of the world. So in the video, we literally ran with that concept. We're like, okay, I'm in the bomb shelter, post-nuclear war. I don't know if people caught that, but I'm the last person on the planet or whatever. I'm leaving this legacy, I'm leaving these remnants of so if people are to populate again, they'll find this stuff and know what's good. So that was kind of the concept behind the video. Shout out to Mark, Noisemaker Media, who's done a lot of stuff with High Water and a lot of different people. Mortal Technique, he shot that video, it was amazing.
Unleash the beast from the northeast blindly. Many labels slept on a chick and wouldn't sign me. Cry me a river, no she's dope, she's me. Find me in the booth on the stage lively.